So I was going to come in here and talk to you about. Well, I was going to start the podcast talking to you about our round two NBA playoff predictions and our round one takeaways. But um, social justice initiatives took place yesterday, including the Milwaukee Bucks leading the front. Uh, they didn't. They what's the word? They striked during their NBA playoff game 5 against the Orlando Magic. They didn't come to the court and did not play. As a result, that game did not play, and the rest of the NBA followed suit, including the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Houston Rockets, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Portland Trail Blazers. And what the NBA did, it struck the entire sports world. We have tennis tournaments not being played. Naomi Osaka, WNBA playoffs wasn't played as well. Shout out to WNBA. We got NFL canceling practices for social justice causes, and we have MLB canceling games for social justice causes. So before we start, because I know that the NBA announced today that they will continue the playoffs after these 2 days of not playing, striking. I'm gonna start with you, Damon. You're pretty vocal, and I like it. How did you feel about the NBA players and the entire sports world striking?
First off, I want to start off in the WNBA. Just hats off to them. They've always set the standards, whether that be the initiative they're taking or the clothes that they wear or how they portray their voice. Because most people, not like us on the PACT Live podcast here, but don't pay attention to what happens in the WNBA. So just for them, for the airtime that they get, for the platform that they do have and using it to promote Black Lives Matter and talk about all this injustice, I want to give a hats off to the women. For the NBA, I feel like my boy Kyrie said it from the beginning. He was willing to give it up. In the end, Kyrie didn't go play, but it was just the principle of saying we need to stand up. They decided to play. Unfortunately, something else happened, and these guys went on a strike. And I just feel like I'm completely with Jaylen Brown. Reportedly, there's so many things going on in this room, and nobody really knows because nobody's a player reporting this stuff. But I'm with Jaylen Brown. The Bucks don't have to apologize to nobody. I feel they did the right thing. And I'm with LeBron. I want to give a hats off to LeBron as well. They said LeBron didn't say a word. If that is true, there was nothing to be said. We know the action that needs to be taken. I personally feel like starting over here tomorrow and Saturday and going forward is too quick. Unless they feel like something is going to happen. They've been confirmed to this stuff, and we will see in the next 24 to 48 hours, I guess. But for me, it's good to see. It's good to hear. Don't be silent. And I'm just proud of all people in the sports world coming together to try to. They've used their voice in the last couple months, but now they're taking more action, and that's what I want to give a hats off to them for.
In my introduction, I forgot to mention the cause of them striking, and it was due to the shooting of Jacob Blake, a man from Wisconsin, getting shot in the back 7 times by police, and as a result, getting paralyzed from the waist down. And I just saw a report today that his dad said that he's handcuffed to his hospital bed, but he doesn't know what they charged him for. So this is just what fuels what the NBA players, what the WNBA players, tennis players, NFL players, MLB players, hockey players, every sport. Does it feel them to keep going? Cut, I hand it to you. What was your reaction to the players, and how do you feel about it?
Well, as you can see, I have on my NBA shirt and my NBA hat. I thought it took a lot of courage. I respect it a lot. And I honestly thought, literally, like last night, when I went to sleep last night, I thought it wasn't going to be a season anymore. So I was like, wow, I felt like that was a big stand because most people won't cancel, which they ended up not canceling it, just postponing it. Because it's like, that's a big thing to say and do. So that kind of made me appreciate they said it was the Lakers and Clippers, and we'll never know exactly how it went down because leaks are leaks. And it's like, you never know if a leak's true or not. But it made me feel like, it made me actually respect the Clippers more because I kind of, when you in the heat of battle, you kind of feel some type of way. But then, like, it made me really be like, dang, that's bold. It took a lot of courage. And I know, like, LeBron's the face, but the Clippers leaders had to be 10 toes with him if that was the case. So that was that really made me be like, wow, like NBA is the best league. It made me really like, I already kind of knew that it was the most progressive, and like the NBA helped the WNBA stay on and get on and kind of join forces on a lot of these things they do. So it's like basketball really is like the sport that deserves all the good things that come to them. But it was also good to see MLB, which is known to be conservative. They cancel stuff. The what it is, MLS canceled stuff after they played a game, and then after that game, they canceled every game remaining. Hockey disappointed me, but then apparently they tried to do something today.
Yeah, they postponed the games today.
Yeah, so I mean, it's better late than never. You know what I'm saying? They could have did it yesterday, but you kind of, in that sport is really conservative, and one of the black faces in that league spoke out about it. So it was good to see his voice actually have an impact, because I feel like him speaking out against it is what helped them do it. Was it from the heart or was it intentional? We'll never know, but it's better than nothing. But I figured over time, life, like that's like any other job. It's a job at the end of the day. So any job we're working or any of us is working will never probably just cancel everything. It might get postponed. You might get a day off. Might get a day to get your mind straight or two, whatever. Almost like a bereavement day or like a grieving, if you're grieving. But I feel like something on that platform doing it is making it like the people that are below that see that, sometimes you have to take a break, or if you're not understanding, you need to get people to start understanding within the organization. And it starts from the top down. In this case with the NBA, it went from not the bottom, but you know what I'm saying, the players up. There's people below the players, but the players are lower on the scale compared to the owners and the general managers and commission, the board of directors, commission, whatever you want to call them, with Adam Silver and them. So I think this was a sign of them, and I think the players want them to get their voices involved. The owners and the GMs need to start speaking up. It's not just about the players. And I hope it starts a dialogue that's needed, because the things that the NBA are trying to do are spreading awareness, but it's not, you know what I'm saying, it's not getting through to everybody.
I give it to Jace. Jace, how did you feel about the players striking?
I feel like how Damon said, I love how they they did the strike in Milwaukee. They had basically started it and stuff like that. I knew it was gonna be like, as soon as they did that, I knew it wasn't gonna be no games played, because like when something happens in the NBA, they usually like follow suit, like how they did it before and stuff like that. So I mean, I feel like we shouldn't, even though it's hard for me to say it, because of course I want to see Bron, do his thing for Kobe and all that type of stuff. But at the same time, it's like how little baby just tweeted, he's like, it's the bigger picture, like it's the bigger picture. So I don't think we should have the playoffs, but the sports junkie in me wants to have a playoff bad. But the person in me, I feel like we shouldn't have a playoffs. Well, I feel like sports in general should just stop. But at the end of the day, it's a business. So yeah, but and it's still at the end of the day, a man got shot 7 times in his back for no reason, because he wouldn't comply to 3 officers that could, if they wanted for him to comply that bad, they easily could have just got him on the ground. It's 3 or 4 on one man. It's not hard to do that. So you don't have to shoot a man that's turned away from you, opening his car door with his 3 kids in there, and shoot him 7 times in the back, point blank. So I hope those officers get what's coming to him. I hope they what's his name? What's the guy's name?
Well, which guy?
Jacob. What's his
Jacob Blake.
Jacob Blake. Yeah, I hope he gets justice. It's sad to see that he's paralyzed from the waist down. That's just horrible.
This is one of the rare occurrences where they shoot and they survive. So he'll be able to tell like what.
I love that he survived. Like that's a blessing, but he paralyzed from the waist down. And that's just sad to see. So
Yeah. And this is the completely different when COVID took the league sports from us, because when COVID took it, they were like, dang, how this happened? Why did they but this one is different. Like, it's fighting for like people's lives. COVID was people's lives as well, but this one seemed like this is like racism. They're
this is happening. Like,
and it's been happening for 400 plus years. You feel me?
And the aftermath of that, and they still don't get it. That's the thing that gets me. The 17-year-old with the rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just like, and it's like I knew, like, in that situation, it just made me feel worse, because I'm like, if that was like a city like Atlanta or a city like New Orleans, it's like the city he was in was just, people wasn't, they really went out there on some peaceful stuff because they knew they were out there past curfew, and they knew they must know the police out there must have, they must be biased or, show act a certain way to protesters and people that's fighting for the movement. Because, you know what I'm saying, it's not illegal to have a gun, but if it was a black person with a gun, it would have been
we already know how that would have went down.
Right.
He'd been dead.
JB,
white privilege.
You go ahead.
My take on it, man, is, our athletes never fail to drop. To never, they never drop the ball in this sense. Shout out to the WNBA. I really feel like they get underappreciated and get overlooked in this whole thing.
I forgot that.
But definitely not to say who's doing what better. But I feel like the WNBA really does not get their fair share of the flowers, because they really do show up and show out, and they're always. And I'm in the middle.
I got you, Cuzzo. You're you got it, JV. Unmute yourself if you're ready. When you're ready.
So basically, like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted. So essentially, the women of the WNBA always come and show out, and they're always in solidarity. There's nothing to where you have to kind of really guess, like, oh, is this player on the same page as this player? They're always in solidarity and together. And, I really feel like they should get their fair share of the flowers. With that being said, our athletes are doing enough. It's time for people in higher up places to start stepping up, just like our athletes are. So, man, it's just sad. I'm pretty sure everyone's drained and tired of seeing our brothers and sisters having to suffer and living with the trauma of being Black on a day-to-day basis. You know what I'm saying? We won't change. And I don't know how much more it's going to take, but we're going to keep fighting a good fight. And, eventually everything should restore to how it's supposed to be, man. But right now, boy, I'm trying to tell you.
Yes. I was gonna ask because one of my boy Dion, shout out to Dion, friend of the podcast. He said, "I need a special segment ASAP on this possible league-wide boycott. If let's say all sports. Let's say they, for example, they stop play till the beginning of 2021. How would you guys feel about that? Then they'll be stopping play to combat racism." So I provide action, police reform, things like that, voting. Like, how'd you feel until they waited till the beginning of next year to resume playing sports?
I wouldn't be mad about it. I think, it's like, it'd be boring, but it's like, I won't be mad about it because I respect it. The big thing with that is, even with them sitting out, I feel like it's going to take a lot more from other people, higher up people than them, to make a change. And make a change that quick. Because, it's about to be September, so there's only a couple months left. But I feel like with the initiatives they have for getting all the players registered to vote, and their challenges they're making with the voting, and renting out the Dodger Stadium and Phillips State Farm Arena for voting and stuff, that's a big step in the right direction, because it's like, you're basically saying like, oh, y'all always say it's not, we didn't have this resources, or we didn't know, or in the government, some governments really sabotage voting. But it's like, you're not about to sabotage Dodger Stadium. You're not about to sabotage State Farm Arena. And you don't, the power's not going to go out in there. You're not about to be waiting in the heat all day because it's AC, it's space, it's seats, it's going to work. And it's crazy, like, when you realize that these arenas and these stadiums have been here this entire time, yet they've never been used for voting.
Never been used. It's crazy, ain't it?
That's really crazy. Like, you literally could have cut down, compartmentalized a lot of voting to these areas, and it would have been way easier. State Farm Arena is so big to the point where it's like they could have like 4 different areas of different polls, and that'll take thousands and thousands of people, take care of them, instead of people standing in one line for the one poll in their area, or in the 20-mile radius, everybody standing in one line waiting all day in the heat or in the rain or whatever. And then they'll try to turn you away and tell you you can't vote if you don't get in by this time, when that's not true. So there's like a lot of bad stuff going on. So I feel like it's bigger than voting, but that's the biggest point or spot on the timeline as of now to 2021. That's the biggest point from now to 2021. After that, hopefully the people that we vote for actually win, not the people that they tell us won. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, hopefully and that's another story. It's like, we can't even fix that until you get the people in there out now, because the electoral college is really just stupid. And it's based on the census, but a lot of people don't do the census. Why? People don't do the census because they were never told to do the census. A lot of Hispanic people can't do the census because they're not registered.
And some people feel it violates their privacy.
Right. And then for Black people, it's just like, I've seen my mom talk about the census stuff, but like, a lot of people don't know what that is. But that goes to being, educated and just learning. But at the same time, that's something they wouldn't tell you. I literally didn't even know the electoral college was based on the census till like last year.
I didn't either.
And I was, what I'm saying, I'm 24, about to be 24. So it was like, it's a lot of stuff that has to change. And I feel like this was the year where everybody kind of found their voice. And I hope 2021 could be the year where it's like, okay, we seeing some stuff be put into place and implemented to get people, get the people that's doing this type of stuff out of these positions and out of this country that they trying to make great again.
And shout out to Cap, man. Way ahead of his time. Way ahead of his
Guy.
time. 2016 kneeling. It was the 4 years. Well, yesterday was the 4 years he sat down during national during the preseason game, and 4 years later the Bucks sit out a playoff game. So it's levels. Did you guys have anything else would you like to say about if the sports leagues were to postpone to 2021 to combat racism and things like that?
I should definitely say something.
Yeah, Damon go first. I'll go after him.
No, I'm saying, John. Saw you hang up the Deshaun Watson jersey.
What's up, John?
Oh, come on, teacher. Don't tell me you don't know how to work Zoom.
I'm saying, like,
You're on mute.
I hear you.
You're on mute.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't hear y'all, so hold on. It's these AirPods.
College Park Skyhawks.
You hear it, John?
I was with John when he bought that hoodie.
I like it.
Yeah. Beauty.
G League game was fun.
Take the AirPods out.
Nah, they sell it at the Hawks team store.
Make your
Oh, okay.
microphone, AirPods, and your speaker your built-in output for your computer.
That boy do not know what he doing.
yeah, no.
You hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me for real?
Yes, Mr. Marshall.
Jen and I do know what I'm doing. I'm not on a little iPhone, so my screen don't look disgusting. At least I'm trying to make Bruce a high quality. You come with
Bro,
this.
this is a high
unstable
quality
camera.
camera.
Shut up. That's so.
All you have to do is flip his screen. If he flip it sideways or just get on his iPad, it'll work.
John, how you doing, man?
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Pack Life podcast. I'm just playing, man. This is something, man. I decided to decorate for y'all today, so you know.
Well, we
I like
discussing Milwaukee Bucks, and the rest of the sports world. Not boycotting, striking yesterday and today to not play. What are your thoughts on the matter?
I like the fact that you changed the word to striking versus boycott. It's two different meanings. I would explain it, but I don't really all the way know. I just definitely know the word is more striking. And obviously,
a boycott is not spending your money on something. Striking is because it's like it's their work labor, and they're striking, to do their job.
Yeah, I was trying to think about the Montgomery boycott, Montgomery bus boycott, and how that relates to now.
Yeah.
But my thoughts. I mean, obviously, I'm very proud of what they're doing. I understand why they have to finish the season. It's just if you want like years to come for things to be smooth, you got to finish now. Plus, they've already put thought into it. And I was watching The Jump earlier, and I saw Richard Jefferson and Matt Barnes discuss this. And I like what Richard Jefferson basically said. You know, he was like, I mean, the NBA is not the player's enemy. And as far as we're concerned, they have done the most progressive things in each, like as far as every league goes. So the players aren't mad at the NBA. They shouldn't take it out on them. So finishing the season makes sense. But I like the fact that it did have a domino effect on the rest of the sports world, with tennis games being canceled and other predominantly white sports also being canceled. I thought that was probably the biggest thing. And hopefully the momentum isn't just canceling games and starting conversations. That's the one thing that I keep hearing, and I'm like, okay. They're like, hopefully we can start a conversation. But it does need to be more action taken. So hopefully, like, athletes are saying, all right, this is what we're about to do step by step to make sure that we're providing equity. And, you know, equity is important. You hear equality, but equality just means we all are equal. But equity is like you're bringing everybody to be equal. So if Bruiser is like, you know, struggling in a subject, I say school, like you're struggling in a subject, I'm not just going to teach you the same way. That's equality. I'm going to make sure I'm giving you extra resources so that you understand what this person understands. So just really providing equity is what I hope that they decide to do. And I'm very happy that the NBA is leading the charge on this.
Final question before we move on. God forbid, if another unarmed black man or woman gets shot or killed by the police, do you think sports is done? Like, do you think that's the final straw and they will definitely sit out longer than 2 days?
I would hope that they take
gonna
more serious action. Yeah.
It's on camera, yes.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
that's the thing about it when it's on camera, because it's happening more than that. It's just that it's on camera that it's like you see the people screaming in the background and stuff like that. It's just it shouldn't take seeing it like that to make people feel like something's going on. But that's just how it is. You know, that's just how it is.
I mean, I feel like if something happens, and if that does happen, God forbid, I feel like yes, they would cancel the season, but it's just that I know the NBA is going to do their part, but I want to know if the other sports are going to do their part. Like after your season is over, or after that year is over, are you going to like take a charge? You're going to take a stand and like go out there and protest with people and speak on what's wrong and all that. So that's what I really want to see from like big names and stuff like that. So
Gotcha. Anybody else before we move on?
I mean, the unfortunate thing is these type of events happen every single day. They just don't go viral, and they're not always captured. So I think it's more so players not waiting for things to happen, but being proactive instead of reactive, and just trying to figure out how we can prevent this from happening, instead of waiting for something to happen to say, all right, now let's make a statement, or now let's do this and strike. It just really goes to them being proactive. And I just don't get why officers don't have the social intelligence to understand that this year has been the year of viral incidents. And even if you are racist, you got to know, like, I'm in a position where all eyes are on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, all eyes are on me and everything that I do in my job. Like, law enforcement is probably the most popular job right now. So it has to be done with fidelity. And officers are just not doing that. So
they don't care to. They protect it.
He shot a man 7 times in the back, bro. He obviously does not care.
They protect it, man. It's a criminal enterprise, unfortunately. The way I look at it.
Right. And I also thought about with law enforcement, I don't think necessarily all the time it's the individual officer. I kind of think about the culture of law enforcement. So when this officer goes back to their precinct or whatever, you know, they got all these guys there. They're like, oh, you let that criminal get away? Oh, you weak. Oh, you soft. Like, what kind of officer are you? So I think that also plays a role in their head when they're going after these people like, oh, I can't look soft. I can't go back and have, you know, my fellow officers talking about me. And I think that's why also other cultures exist that we want to get rid of, like rape culture. Like that's still joked about. Like that's still in society. Comedians make jokes about it. It's on television, it's in the media. So I think that as long as that culture exists, like unfortunately, there will be still incidents of rape that are like vicious, just like we see with the police enforcement. So, you know, the culture has to change.
I agree. John just embodied that. Nothing else said.
D-Wise didn't say his piece. I knew he was about to murder it.